Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of the Spurs Chat Podcast, where, of course, we will be discussing Tottenham's win here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 2, Fulham 0. Of course, Spurs go back to the top of the Premier League table. I've got three very special guests to talk about tonight's game. Back with us is actor Ricky Norwood, fresh from the ice. Of course, he's just joined Dancing on Ice. Ricky, pleasure to have you back. How are you, mate?
I'm good, my friend. I've been missing you guys, man. I've been missing you guys. I've been missing the football. I've been missing Ange. I've been missing the 3 points. And I've been missing saying that we're still top of the league. Come on, brother. It's good to be back. Let's have it.
We've also got channel regular Craig Dearman back with us. Craig, how are you?
I'm all good. Yeah. Another win, which is great. Becoming a bit of a habit, isn't it? So, yeah, can't wait to get into this and let's discuss another win.
I'm certainly getting used to it. I'm loving it right now. We've also got Daily Mail journalist Oli Gamp back with us. Oli, how are you?
Guys, I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with my sound. I might have to. I can't hear a word. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me. Okay. For some reason, I can't hear you.
Oli,
I'll just say what I thought about the game. I thought it was a great game. I'm glad to be back. By the way, first appearance of the season. Yeah, smashing result today. Everybody was on it. It was perfect. I finally enjoy watching Spurs again. It's amazing. I cancelled my 5-a-side match with the Mail today, and they're all like, "Why are you cancelling?" And I said, "Well, Spurs are playing," and they were like, "Well, that's not till 8 o'clock." And I said, "I don't care. I'm excited." So yeah, I love watching Spurs play now for the first time in a long time. Conte was just sucking the life out of all of us. And now I just love watching us play, and we're just playing amazing stuff. We're top of the league. Like, what can I say? It's just a really, really good time to be a Spurs fan. And while you guys ask the next question, I'm going to try and get my sound to work because I can't hear anything you're saying.
Well, while Ollie does that, let's have a look at the league table because, of course, as I said, Spurs are top of the Premier League table. We are unbeaten. We have played 9. We have won 7. We have drawn 2. We have a goal difference of plus 12. We have 23 points. And dare I say it, if Spurs beat Crystal Palace on Friday evening, we will be 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Ricky, how does that feel?
Mate, it looks so good, doesn't it? It looks so pretty. It looks so gorgeous. And we've been there a couple of times, and we've hovered around first for a little while. But to be there consistently, to be there consistently for a little while, and the way that we're playing right now, it's just so good. It's just so good. I'm done with all the pundits being like, "Oh no, they can't sustain it. They can't do this." Listen, don't worry. Don't listen to the noise. Just enjoy every game as it comes, and enjoy every single one of those 3 points that we earn after every single game right now, man. It's fantastic to see. I'm absolutely buzzing. It's so nice to see this side come together and kind of start to flourish, so I'm super happy with this side right now. I'm super happy with the style of football, and even happier when you get 3 points, bruv. What more can you ask for?
I've got to keep unmuting myself and muting myself because they're now playing all these songs. Sweet Caroline is on now here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Craig, let's start the show with you. Your thoughts on today's game. Of course, in my opinion, it was a very professional performance. It was a very good performance again by this Tottenham Hotspur team. Created lots of chances. Of course, Son and Madison on the score sheet today. But your thoughts on the game this evening?
Yeah, it was... well, after we went 2-0 up and took Madison and Son off, it was kind of... they kind of put the brakes on again and were just trying to see the game out, which is unusual because I expected us to carry on playing. Our Ali has said they play, they don't stop. They go, if they score 2, they go for 3 and 4. But obviously tonight they just wanted to see it out. And once Madison and Son went off, that's exactly what they're trying to do. It was a bit dicey at the end there, actually. I think against the better side, if we conceded, that would have made the last 5 or 10 minutes a bit more squeaky bum time, to be honest with you. So I'm sure there's something that they'll want to look at. But on the whole, football's just about the results and getting another 3 points. Massive achievement again to be top of the league. It's funny when I was looking at when Sky put the league table up at the end of the match. I'm so used to looking, your eyes go to sort of the middle of the screen to see, 5th, 6th. And I thought, hang on, we're Spurs, and you have to do a double take that we're top, so your eyes go up to the top of the screen. It's just not something you're used to, but it's just such a great feeling. And like you say, could be 5 points clear going into Saturday's games before anybody's kicked a ball. So, you know, that would be a statement. I know we'd obviously played one game more at that point, but it's just being 5 points clear. I don't care where we are in the season. That's good, isn't it? And I'm sure they're ahead of where they want to be, but not getting carried away. But very, very happy with where we are and how we're playing football, because I think we deserve it. It's such a change from what we've been used to.
Ollie, let's come to you. Are you getting carried away now? Because we are a quarter of the way into the Premier League season.
As you know, Chris, I never get carried away. But people have been coming up to me at the office and saying, "Oh, you think you're going to win the league now, don't you?" And I was like, "I don't. I know my club too well." No, I think it's a very, very positive situation. Obviously, it's very weird for us to be top of the league. I don't think we can get carried away, because Arsenal did get carried away last year and they crumbled. And I don't want us to get too excited and crumble. But I was just saying to a friend of mine, I think we'll be in the top four all season. I think we'll be there or thereabouts, to use a very big cliche. I think we'll challenge. And most people, you know, you talk about someone like Paul Merson said we were going to finish in the bottom half, and look at us now. We're absolutely cooking. So yeah, it's not the time to get carried away. It's time to be excited. I've eaten humble pie. You know, I'm sure we've all done it. None of us wanted Ange, let's be honest. Maybe you did, Chris. I don't know. I think you did. Yeah, you did. But Craig, I don't think you wanted Ange. Ricky, you didn't want Ange. But you know, we're all happy to be wrong. I'm very happy. I was incredibly critical, and I'm so happy to be wrong. But it's just a joy to watch us play. Like, I was just watching us there, even at the end of the game where we nearly conceded. We were still pinging it around in our own box, and I was just like, this is just a privilege to watch. And that's what it means to watch Spurs. It's about playing with flair, attacking football. That's what we want to see. And we've been waiting to see it for so long. So it's just, I'm just really enjoying it right now.
Ricky, how excited are you about Anfield? Right? Because, you know, I've always said, you know, in previous weeks, I've said, I'm not going to get carried away. But like Ollie just said there, I think there is so much more improvements to make from this evening, but we are still winning. We're sitting top of the league. We're unbeaten. A lot of pundits have said, well, Spurs haven't played anyone yet. We played Liverpool. We played Arsenal. What more do you want?
Well, I think we know as Tottenham fans that we're not really going to get the credit that we deserve until it's rammed down their throats. But I mean, when you look at this side, and it's not just Ange, you know, the recruitment has suddenly turned up trumps. You know, the work that Paratici has put in getting in players like Vicario, Udogi, you know, bringing in Sarr, you know, bringing in Basuma, you know, Kulusevski, bringing in these players that are now really starting to flourish under a manager that knows what to give them and how to unleash them, but keep them still structured, keep them still disciplined. You know, today's game, it was a crazy one because the first half was electric. I thought Vicario was fantastic today. You know, big saves today. He was commanding. He came for crosses. He caught a lot. You know, he was there, and he's somebody that you can trust. And now you don't have any anxiety if there's a one-on-one with him right now, or if he's got a save shot. You've kind of got that belief that, you know what, 9 times out of 10 he's actually going to save it or get it away or do something that's not going to lead to a goal. And those goals that do come, then they don't affect us. They don't affect our mentality. They don't affect the way that we play. We carry on playing. You know, that first half was fantastic. We should have got like a couple of goals in that first half, easy, just for the way that we was playing, the way that we dominated the ball, the way that Madison, the magician, is just like dictating everything. And they can try and kick him up in the air. You know, I don't know how Paulinho didn't get any cards whatsoever today. You know, but you can try and kick him up in the air, and it just doesn't affect him. He actually enjoys it. He actually goes, all right, cool, I'm getting under your skin, and he carries on, and he carries on. It doesn't stop him. You know, Sonny, being the leader that he is, he came back, he looked rapid, and we know he came off on international duty. We know when he went into international duty that he was carrying a little knock. So to see him out there flying about, chasing down, pressing, high press, you know, like being there for the midfielders as well as the attack, and being a shining light, and setting up Madison for that second goal as well. It's just like, and scoring the first, it's been so good to see. And that's why the second half of me kind of disappointed me a little bit. It kind of got a bit bitty, and you saw how much we missed you Doggy and Sarr when we took them off. The energy just kind of shrunk a little bit, and it was a very professional display in the second half. We kept the ball well. Any chances that we did give away, there wasn't really panic stations like there was last year or the year before when we was in similar positions. There was controlled chaos. There was a controlled effort to kind of be united and be together and stop whatever balls were coming in, whether it was a cross or a shot or an overlap. They only got a couple of sniffs at goal, and if they would have had a striker that could, put away the chances that they had, maybe we'd have a different opinion of this game. But they done tremendously well in all aspects, and this is still the beginning of what Ange Ball is. This is still in its infancy of what this team can become, and that's what's exciting. Not just the team, not just Ange, but the recruitment. Everything's coming together right now, and long may it continue, bro.
It certainly is everything, because the under-18s are sitting top of the under-18 Premier League. The under-21s are sitting top of Premier League 2. The women are third, but they were top at the weekend. Another great display and another great win from them at the weekend. And of course, now the men's first team sitting top of the Premier League table. The feeling is back, Craig, isn't it? That good, feel factor is good. It's back here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been missing for a few years now, isn't it? And I know we got excited a few times under Conte, and there was undoubtedly some good games and good performances in there, but on the whole, really, it wasn't that feel-good factor all the time like it is now. And because you just know, you can see the plan, the way we're going to play now. It's going to be exciting. The fans are kind of back on side. To have a manager come in and win the fans over as quickly as he has done is just unbelievable. The songs at the end of the match, like you say, playing Islands in the Stream. I don't know whether they were playing that in the changing room or something. Well, it seems a bit of a weird one to me. I love the song, by the way. It's just it always seemed a bit funny, but hey, whatever gets people hyped up, and I'd imagine it's another good atmosphere at the end of the game today. But it's all about that. It's no surprise that all the teams are doing well, because that feel good factor's back in the club, and it's infectious, and it just bleeds into every part of the club and all the levels and all the teams. So it's just great. I mean, there's no negativity at the moment. The only thing for me is I'm a bit concerned why Udogie and Sarr went off. I know they got a few knocks. Hopefully that's just precautionary why they went off. I thought Højbjerg, I'm not sure we'll come on to it, I thought Højbjerg was really good tonight. Came in and deputised for Bissouma pretty well. And of course we got Bentancur to come back into this team. So there's plenty of reasons to be smiling and be happy at the moment. So there's very little negativity, and much I can say against anything we're doing at the moment, which is fantastic. It's almost like, wow, hang on, this, we haven't got these dark clouds hanging over us and things to moan about like we did last year's podcast, So yeah, incredible.
I love recording these podcasts when the football is like it is and the results are the way they are, and Spurs are top of the Premier League table. I tell you, it's fantastic. Ollie, let's come to you. Let's have a look at the stats this evening. Tottenham Hotspur had 56% possession to Fulham's 44%. Shots, Spurs 15, Fulham 10. Shots on target, Spurs 5, Fulham 3. Corners, Spurs 3, Fulham 5. And fouls, Spurs 10, Fulham 14. Ollie, what are you expecting now? With Spurs having such a great start, what is your expectation at the end of the season? Because, of course, you just said you didn't want Ange Postecoglou. There were a lot of fans doubting the appointment of Ange Postecoglou in the summer. What are you expecting now?
Oh, very, very. You're asking the tough questions today, Chris. There is an expectation, and then there is a reality. I'm expecting, given the performances we've had this season, I'm expecting top four. I'd be shocked if we didn't finish in the top four, given the kind of level we're playing at. I'm not expecting a title race. I've got to say, I hate to be the negative one, but Ricky, come on. But the thing is, though, what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to be in the title conversation until about February, and I think reality is going to kick in. But I think it's going to be a learning curve. I think, this season is going to be so crucial for us under Ange. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for us to be battling all the way. But I saw what happened to Arsenal last season, and I think they got crashed down so hard from the sky. They really thought they were going to do it, and I think that was what killed them. It was the dream that killed them. As something, I think somebody said that in a film or something. But I think we need to keep. I think what Ange does really well is he keeps the expectations in check. So I think people keep saying to him, trophy this, trophy that. When are we going to win a trophy? And Ange is like, I'm not here to win a trophy. I'm here to build something. I'm here to create an identity. If we win a trophy along the way, then great. But that can't be what my focus is on. And I really like that. I was like, okay, great. Let's just take the pressure off. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need, because Spurs are obsessed with trophies, as we should be, because we need to win some. And it's embarrassing that we've gone so long without one. But the focus has got to be on improving, playing great football, and then letting the rest of it take care of itself. So I think if we carry on the way we are, we'll mount some kind of title challenge that I believe will collapse fairly early into the midway point of the season. But I think we'll stay in touch and distance. I think if I'm sure you guys. Sorry, Fat Boy. I thought I said everybody. Only Fat Boy. Sorry. I think we would. I think all three of you would bite. You'd take fourth right now, wouldn't you? Surely. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think you'd all take fourth. So yeah, I think that is what we can expect. To answer your question, Chris, we can expect a top four finish, a title conversation. I think I'd be very shocked, but the way we're playing, who knows? We were top of the league, but then again, do you know what I think about? We were top of the league in December under Jose, and look what happened there. We finished 8th or something, 6th, was it? I don't know, but we didn't do well.
I think it's different this time, Ollie.
I know it's different, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to keep everybody chilled. Let's not get too.
Don't worry, I'm chilled. I'm not going to get carried away, and I'm going to say on this podcast every single week that I'm not going to get carried away. But I think secretly inside, I'm getting a little bit carried away.
I think we all are inside.
But you know what? The fact that we're in the conversation, the fact that the question's even being asked after the last couple of season performances, the fact that the question is being asked right now shows you how far we've come. And that's why I agree with exactly what you're saying there, Ollie, in the sense of get excited, get excited for the anticipation of the game, get excited during the game. When we get those 3 points, get excited too. But of course, who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen in the league? But our manager has said, the big man himself said, no ceiling, no floors. So, do you know what I mean? Go out there and don't worry about the noise. Just keep cheering, keep being excited, keep believing. And who knows what could happen? Who knows what type of special season this could be?
Ricky, let's stay with you. I want to ask you who your man of the match was this evening, because there are so many contenders, in my opinion. Vicario made a couple of great saves. Heung-min Son, he has now scored 7 Premier League goals in the 9 Premier League games so far. Unbelievable. Madison with his first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in a Spurs shirt this evening, who I thought was absolutely unbelievable again. But it just seems week by week under Postecoglou, there are so many players that you could name to be man of the match. Who was yours tonight?
You know what, bro? Like all of those that you suggested are if they were man of the match, it's hard to argue against. But you know what? For me, I'm going to go for not somebody who's unsung, but exactly that. That's who I'm going for. I'm going for Romero. I thought Romero was absolutely immense. The way that he changed the pace of play, the way that he calmed things down, the way that he drew Fulham in so that he could then have an empty space to pass into. How controlled he was, how calm he was. When he drifted into the box and who did he set up? I think it was Kulu, and Kulu should have shot. I think it was that one. It was, nobody was expecting it. Everyone was expecting Romero to pass out wide, and he passed inside the box and just baffled everybody. And I think that his leadership, his maturity, And the fact that he takes pride in the shirt and wearing the armband, he's week in, week out, he just keeps impressing me. And who knows where that guy is going to rank on the all-time list of great centre-backs that we've had at the club. But boy, he's definitely up there. And I'm loving his work right now. He's just a super special player. And the partnership that he's building with Van der Ven. Van der Ven, again, there was times where, Fulham and Willian, I think it was, there was many times that he put a ball through and their player, I think it was Wilson, I'm going to guess, but there was many a time that their player was clean through, but Van der Ven's pace just kind of got him back there and just confused that player, and then it ended up being a block, or you know what I mean, or it ended up being a tackle, and then we started pressing and pushing again. So yeah, for me though, the man of the match, for me, I'm going to go for Romero, because I just thought he was absolutely phenomenal.
Craig and Ollie, shout some names at me. Who would be your man of the match?
I'd probably have to agree with Rick. I'd say Romero overall, but there's arguments for Madison. I thought Højbjerg played really well, to be fair to him. I thought his ball for Madison's goal through to Son was outstanding, actually, first time pass. So, credit there. But, most of them played well tonight. Vicario, you could say another clean sheet, some really good saves. All of them. I think it's one of those rare games where everybody played really well and nobody really, nobody let the team down. That's for sure. I would personally go for Romero, Chris, if you're going to push me for a name. I thought he was great.
They're playing the Big Ange song now as well. I don't know whether you can hear it. Ollie, what about you?
I'm going to throw another name at you. That a guy who really impressed me was Kulusevski tonight. I just think he was bombing up and down. He looked like he was playing on a dance floor. The way he was pirouetting in and out of people, spinning people, running, cutting in. He was just causing all sorts of problems. I think Madison was undoubtedly one of the stars of the show. Very deservedly took the man of the match. I think you could have given it to him. I think you could have given it to Romero. You could have given it to Son even. I think everybody shone. And I think it was one of those games where, when Spurs give out the suggestions to man of the match, I think you could have put 4 or 5 or 6 names out there and it could have been fair enough. So for me, Kulusevski, followed by Madison, followed by Romero, but you could juggle them around in any order. I just think everybody was so on it tonight. Van der Ven as well. He was superb. Everybody was great.
It goes to show, doesn't it, what a difference it is when you can name so many players to be man of the match, because some of these podcasts over the last couple of years, we've really struggled to name a single player. That's the big difference. Ricky, let's come to you. In the second minute, Heung-min Son had a chance. Goalkeeper saved it with his feet. And then Madison then had a couple of free kicks. I want to get your opinion on the free kicks, because the one to Udogie seemed to go terribly wrong. There was another one that Spurs went close. Were you surprised that Madison didn't actually have a shot on goal?
I was, because there was 3 free kicks, and I thought at least one of them he would go for goal. But you know what? He's that clever and he's that smart that he sensed that everybody felt that he was going to go for goal. So again, to confuse the opposition, he decided to try and be clever, and it's very rare that Udogie ain't switched on. Do you know what I mean? But it even took him by surprise, because the way that they were shaping up and the way that Madison had his eyes on the ball, especially on the first one, everybody thought he was going to shoot. I'm sure everybody at home, I'm sure everybody watching felt that he was going to shoot. So it would have been a really clever short free kick. It would have been a clever move to make if it did come off. And that just shows you his intelligence. He doesn't just go for the obvious. He goes for the things that's going to confuse and kind of disrupt the opposition. When you think he's gonna turn one way, he turns the other. When you think he's gonna pass, he keeps it. There's so many times that he just does that. He just changes in the moment and sells the opposition, sells the defense. And makes them look a bit silly at times. So it didn't surprise me. Well, it did. I felt he would have had at least one shot on goal, because he hadn't scored at that point at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and you would have thought that one of those he would have been licking his lips for to try and score from one of those. But he ended up getting his goal tonight anyway. So Not too bad. And how can you even level any type of criticism towards Madison? Do you know what I mean? You know that guy's a magician. You know he has a picture in his head, and he knows exactly where everybody is at all times. And I think there was only like one pass. I'm going to say maybe two, but one that I can remember that was slightly ahead, and I think it was out to Richarlison, and it went off for a throw in, I think, on a breaking passing move. But yeah, he's a magician, and he's just phenomenal. So there's nothing I can say to even try and critique Madison. You know, I'm like, I want the boys to be a little bit more switched on and go be ready for the unexpected.
Ricky, I know you've got to go shortly. Tell us quickly about the dancing on ice. You know what you're doing at the moment, because you're in training. How's all the training going, and when do you actually start officially, and when do the live shows start?
Well, yes. So I have signed up to be on Dancing on Ice. That's why my hair's so long, because all my time is dedicated to training right now. So I train every day, 2 hours, dedicated with a one-to-one coach. You know, last week I didn't, you know, it was crazy. It was terrible. I fell down a couple of times. I couldn't find my feet. But you know what? From the Monday to the Friday, there was an improvement every single day. And by the end of the week, I felt a lot more comfortable on my feet. I knew what was being asked of me. And this week, we're really kind of tuning into technique and how it should be done, rather than just getting away with things. So yeah, it's been a great start to this week. It's a great adventure. It's something that I never thought I would do, but it's come along at the right time in life to kind of take on a challenge. And you know, something that scares me a little bit, because I don't know whether you guys know this, but you know, back in the day I used to do a bit of street dance, and dancing on the floor is one thing, but dancing on ice is something totally different. All the rules are upside down, hands and arms, and where your balance is and where your center is. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts, but I'm enjoying every single minute. We're training up until December 15th, I think it is. We break for Christmas, and then January it all kicks off. So from January 2nd and 3rd, I think it is, we start training again. The first live show is going to be January 14th on ITV. It will be a Sunday, so hopefully Tottenham ain't playing, or if they are, they kick off early. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun journey. Hopefully I don't fall flat on my face on the ice come show night, and hopefully I'm kind of competent in some way, shape or form. But yeah, it's still a long journey, still a long way to go, but I'm enjoying every single minute, brother. It's such a rush.
Someone's saying here, don't do a Gemma Collins on us. Don't do that. I'll tell you, Ricky, no pressure, but do bring the trophy home. So
I'll try, man.
We want to see you holding that trophy. So I know you've got a very early start, so you're going to leave us now, but hopefully we will get you back on the podcast very, very soon. Of course, I know you're very busy training to do Dancing on Ice, so very best of luck with it all, and hopefully
thank you, brother.
See you soon.
Good luck, Ricky.
Absolutely. Thank you,
best of luck,
thank
Rick.
you, gents. And
Smash
thank you
nice.
all the watchers and the listeners. Love to all of you, man. You take care. Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, Rick.
Mate.
See you, Rick.
Take care.
Craig, let's come to you. In the 21st minute, Vicario, let me go back. In the 12th minute, a corner from Fulham. What a save from Vicario. Another player. Oli mentioned that no one wanted Postecoglou. A lot of people didn't want Vicario as the goalkeeper. They wanted David Raya from Brentford. What have you made of Vicario Tottenham Hotspur shirt so far?
I think he's been phenomenal, apart from the dodgy first half against Brentford. I just think he's been absolutely outstanding. I think he would have gained a lot of confidence in the Manchester United game. I thought he played exceptionally well in that. And you can see he's just grown and grown. I think he's got better with his feet. You can see how much of a good shot stopper he is. That save tonight was outstanding to his left. I honestly thought that was in, but he somehow got to it. Save against Jimenez in the second half, bit more closer to him. Managed to parry it away from the goal, though. I just think he's been exceptional, and another great purchase, and it's kind of proved everybody wrong. I was in the Raya camp. I was disappointed when we didn't get him, but and I thought we were going for the cheaper option. But to be fair to Vicario, he's just been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, not much else I can say about it. I mean, I'm sure they're sure they're not gutted we didn't get Raya, put it that way, because what surprises me, actually, when you're talking about goalkeepers, is what's happened to Hugo Lloris. So it's just really strange, isn't it? You know, he was #1 club captain last year, and now he's still at the club, and he's not even making the bench. It's Forster on the bench. I mean, out of the two, personally, I think Lloris is a better keeper, but perhaps he just wants to go with, you know, somebody who's going to still be at the club, and they're expecting Lloris to be going in January. I don't know, but apparently he's learning from him, and Hugo's been really good with him. I'd just personally like to see Hugo get a few minutes in the game before, if he does go, if they can do that. But yeah, it's a strange one, very strange. But Vicario, fantastic.
Yeah, I get what you mean, Craig, and I did think that a couple of months back, particularly when we played that Shakhtar Donetsk friendly. I thought Hugo Lloris might have got a few minutes, but I think it's all about the future now. And to talk about Hugo Lloris, I don't think that he had that distribution that Vicario had today, because in the 21st minute, he caught a cross from a corner, threw it immediately out to Kulusevski to get us on the attack straight away. Ollie, what have you made of Vicario so far?
I was also in the didn't want him camp and wanted Raya camp. But you've seen that Raya, even though he's now first choice Arsenal keeper, all is not well with Raya. You know, he's not quite confident. He's not quite commanding as Arsenal would like. I think they'd be better off with Ramsdale, to be honest. And I don't think it'll be long before he comes back. But I don't know whether Arteta's going to stick to his guns or not. But no, Vicario has been what I like about him is he's very commanding. He's very organised with his box, and I kind of don't worry about him. Like we've had a lot of goalkeepers. My dad used to call Aurelio Gomez Butterfingers, and I always got nervous about Gomez. I got nervous about even like Brad Friedel, because you know he wasn't very young. He was quite old, so he didn't have that agility. And Hugo, as good as he was, gave me so many scare moments. But with Vicario, I just feel so comfortable and so calm. I know he's going to just pounce on every loose ball. And there was a few moments, I'm sure you'll agree, you guys, that towards the end, Fulham easily could have got a goal back or even two. And when we were kind of getting sloppy towards the end, and he made himself big. He went off his line a bit. He reacted well, made some really, really good saves. The one early on in the game was really, really impressive. I think he made a couple more throughout the game. But yeah, he's just solid, and I think having Mickey van der Ven and Romero with the partnership they have and the understanding they have really helps him, because we've had some really shocking partnerships over the years. Like we've had Eric Dyer, we've had Davinson Sanchez, and I think that makes the situation even worse. So having a really, really good centre back pairing, it can not only help Vicario, but it can help the whole team. So yeah, I've been really impressed with him. I stupidly watched a show reel video where it showed all the goals he conceded last season, and I stupidly watched it and thought, oh yeah, let's not get him. But I've been proven wrong, just as I've been proven wrong Ange, and it's okay to be wrong in this situation. Very, very happy that at least the people at Spurs are getting stuff right for once.
Yeah, well said. I think defensively we improve every week. Craig, let's come to you. In the 27th minute, Højbjerg had a shot at the goalkeeper from 25 yards. In the 30th minute, Kulusevski with a run to Richarlison, who shot wide. I tell you what, there were a lot of frustrated people in the stadium because, of course, every Spurs fan wants it to work for Richarlison. They want to see him scoring goals, but that was a chance. He had to hit the target, didn't he?
Yeah, to be fair, Richarlison tonight, I thought he worked extremely hard. He put the miles in tonight, but he's just not a clinical finisher, is he? And, you know, you think he's got his goal and he'll go on from there. And he had chances against Luton, wasn't it? He had some good chances against Luton and then again tonight. And, you know, it does flash through my mind. I think I said it. If that was Harry Kane, that would be in the back of the net. And that's what you kind of comparing him to one of the best strikers in world football that the world's ever seen. So, but, you know, that's the territory you're in, and he's got to start putting them away. I do get frustrated with Richarlison. I like him, but he's incredibly frustrating sometimes. And I just wonder how much longer Angie's going to persevere with him, or is Brendan Johnson going to be coming in on that side and pushing for his place? Obviously, we've got Solomon out at the moment and Perisic, so there's a bit of leeway there for him. But with Johnson pushing, I wouldn't be surprised to see Johnson perhaps start on Friday against Palace. Although, like I say, Richarlison did work hard tonight, so he did put in a shift. But you've got to score goals and do something from that position. He wasn't quite doing it. There's something not quite right there. But, he will keep trying, Richarlison. I hope it comes good for him.
Oli, let's come to you. In the 31st minute, Madison to Son, light shot at the goalkeeper. A minute later, Richarlison with a clever ball through to Udogie, which the shot was blocked. In the 34th minute, Madison shot at the goalkeeper, comfortable save. And then, of course, the goal came a couple of minutes later. Richarlison to Son, what a finish. It looks like Son is back to the form that we saw him in the previous season, where, of course, he won the Golden Boot. He really has stepped up since Harry Kane has left, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and he had to, really. I mean, when you sell Kane and you don't sign a like-for-like striker, somebody has to step up. And I think every time that Kane got injured, it was always Son who stepped up. And I think Son relishes being the front man, the main man. And I think ever since we've put him, I think there was a point where we put him on the left and we put Richarlison up front, and now we've kind of switched them. And then ever since Son has taken the centre stage role, the front man role, he's just really excelled. There's no doubt he's one of the best players in the league. Jamie Carragher said it himself tonight. He said he's one of the best players in the league. Players fear him. I think it was Gary O'Neill in the studio said when we played him this season, we talked about him pre-game. We talked about how to mark him, but you can't because he's so energetic. He gets around and he just makes stuff happen. So, yeah, Son is finally stepping up. Last season, I don't know what happened with him. I think it was just a sort of mentality thing. I think he needed an arm around the shoulder and a bit of a cuddle. And I think Pochettino has given him that. He is exactly the manager Son needs. Son is like the epitome of sunshine. He is just a bundle of joy. And it doesn't work with a manager like Conte, who's so aggressive and he's almost like a teacher, like an angry teacher. You need a dad character, like an uncle. And that's what he's got. And that's how you get the best out of him. You need man management. And that's what Ange's got. So I think that is the reason for Son's rise to excellence again. And long may it continue.
Oli, what are your thoughts on Richarlison? Do you think that it will work for him? Do you think that he's doing enough in games for Ange to be happy with his performances?
My thoughts on Richarlison, I was talking to my flatmate about this tonight. So we signed him for 60 million. That sets a certain expectation. But I don't think he's the player that some people think he is. I think he's not a goal scorer, even though every time he goes to Brazil, he turns into a Lionel Messi, a prime Cristiano Ronaldo. Not lately, but, in the World Cup, he scored that worldy overhead kick. But when he comes back to Spurs, he's suddenly not the player we want him to be. And because we signed him for such a big lump sum of money, which he was never worth, by the way, we expect him to score every game. What I do like about him is, as you said, Craig, he does put in a shift. He does work hard. And I feel like every time Richarlison's on the pitch, something has the potential to happen, whether it happens or not. But when he's on the pitch, he can pop up and score a last-minute header from a corner. He can put in a boot. He can square up to somebody and cause some trouble. Thanks, Dad. And he can make stuff happen. He's got the temperament. He's the kind of player you want in a derby. He's just someone you want to have around. And yeah, I think in January I'd like to see us sign Ollie Watkins. I want to see us sign a player who can get 20 a season. Obviously, Son can do that. But if we could switch Son to the left and then have the option to have somebody up front who can score, then that would be good. And you got Brendan Johnson as well. But I just think I'm a fan of Richarlison as long as he keeps offering us something. Like today, he got an assist. He works hard. He keeps battling. He's got that presence. He's got an aerial presence, and he's got the link-up play, and he's got technical ability. So he's got a bit of everything. The only thing he doesn't have is goal scoring. And that's something we need to improve with him. But I think it'll come in time. This team creates so many opportunities. There's so much going on. We attack with every opportunity we get. So he will get goals. It will come. I think he's had a huge confidence knock. He was talking recently about how he wasn't the player he used to be. I think he went to Brazil and he was talking about his struggles as well. So it's clearly it's a him problem. I think it will come for him. But yeah, if he keeps working hard, the opportunities will come. But I just like that he's a hard worker.
Craig, let's come to you. Kulusevski had a fantastic chance just before the half-time break. Chose to pass the ball instead of shoot. He done exactly the same in the second half as well. Were you surprised by that decision making?
Frustrated, to be honest with you, because it was the end of a lovely move, and I thought, just shoot, especially that first half one. I think the shot was easier than the pass, to be honest with you. It's one of those situations that I thought, well, this is in the back of the net, and he just decided to pass. He was almost trying to create the perfect goal, and didn't need to be. He could have just had the shot. And again, like you say, second half, it was exactly the same thing. I thought he had a really good game, Kulusevski, but just sometimes trying to overplay it. The easiest, simplest thing is to just shoot from where he was, certainly. I think you'd look back on that. I just can't believe somebody like him wouldn't shoot. It was just really bizarre that, you've seen him shoot from that sort of angle before and further out. And it was just weird for me. I don't know whether they've worked on things like that in training, and that's how Ange wants them. But I can't believe that for 1 second, by the way. I just think they were trying to overplay it. I don't know why. Because, like I say, I think it was easier to take the shot than the pass. But he had a good game. He had a really good game tonight, Kulusevski. I think he was dead on his feet at the end, to be honest with you. I think I'd love to know how many kilometres he ran tonight, because he must have been up there with one of the furthest runs on the pitch. But yeah, why he didn't shoot, Chris, I don't know. It was really odd, very strange.
Well, of course, the half-time score was 1-0 to Tottenham. Postecoglou's just had his press conference and said, I thought our pressing was outstanding the whole game, but really disappointed with the second half. With the ball, it was probably the worst 45 minutes we've had all year. We should have had more control. He then went on to say, we have to improve. We can be better. Absolutely, we can. Oli, is that a fair assessment of the second half?
I like it. I like when we play well and a manager says it's not good enough, because it's like, wow, like we can get better. Yeah, I think the second half was kind of sloppy. I think as soon as the second went in, we kind of just reined it in a bit, and I think it was a bit of damage prevention and just sort of keep the clean sheet, wrap it up. Yeah, I think it was a case of job done. Which is not the Spurs way. We should have gone for more. But then, could that have let Fulham back into it? I don't know. As I say, Fulham, they had opportunities. They probably had enough chances to score twice at the end. But then again, I wasn't worried. Like it just seemed like we had it under control. But Calvin Bassey, I think he was a closet Spurs fan. I think he kind of just won it for us. So if it wasn't for Calvin Bassey, I mean, yeah, I think there's no doubt that we can improve, and I think it's so good to have a manager who keeps seeking more from us. But yeah, like in the second half, we did drop off a lot. At the same time, I wasn't mad about it, because I was kind of happy that we were conserving energy. Let's not forget we got another game on Friday, quick turnaround. So I wasn't mad about it. We subbed off Son, we subbed off Madison, we subbed off Udogie. We could afford to do that. So I think Ange kind of thinks about the future. He thinks about the next game. But yeah, he should be demanding of the players, because we've got the squad to do special things. And we'd all love to see us trounce Fulham 5-0 tonight. I'm kind of glad that we didn't go hell for leather, because it wasn't necessary. But we were sloppy at the end. But I think that's only going to happen when you take off Udogie, when you take off Madison, when you take off Son, when you take off Sarr, and you bring on players like Lo Celso, Skip. You're going to get sloppy, because they're not as good as the guys who came off. So it's to be expected, and I wasn't surprised by anything I saw tonight. Yes, the second half wasn't as good as the first half, but got the job done, and that's all that matters. I mean, we scrapped to a 2-1, was it, against Luton? Whatever it was a narrow win. So we got the job done there. We got the job done here. That's all. I think that's all that matters, really. But we can only get better, and that's a good thing.
1-0, Oli. It was Mickey Van der Ven.
Yeah.
Craig, let's come to you. In the second half, in the 52nd minute, Kulusevski to Heung-min Son to Richarlison, who shot over the bar. Another chance for Richarlison, not on target. A couple of minutes later, we did go 2-0 up. Heung-min Son to Madison. Great finish from him. First goal in the Spurs shirt, as I mentioned earlier, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Madison has been incredible. What an incredible signing he has been since walking through the door here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah, I'd say signing of the summer, not just for Tottenham, just in the Premier League as a whole. I think 40 million is a snip. As I've said on here a few times, I liked Madison when he was at Norwich. I wanted to take him when Leicester went in for him. I just think he's an outstanding player. He just fits Tottenham. He's just a Tottenham player, isn't he? I like the song we used to sing to Gareth Bale. You know, he was born to play for Spurs. I can see it with Madison as well. He's just fits that number 10 role perfectly. He wouldn't have worked under Conte or Mourinho, wouldn't he? Oddly enough, but we've got a manager that wants to play with a number 10 essentially, and he's just slotted in there perfectly. I think he'd be a massive loss if we ever lose him for a couple of games. I think that could be where the wheels come off. But you can see when he goes off the pitch that there's not much creativity there. But as Oli said, I think they were probably just conserving energy for the Friday game, to be fair. So probably shouldn't have expected too much from the last 15 minutes tonight. I would like to actually go back to something I said on the date a certain striker left us. And you asked me, where do I think Spurs will finish next season? And I know we were all fed up that evening, but I believe I said I think Spurs will finish 10th. I'd probably like to revise that now. So I'll change to top 4. But I think, look, if we can keep everyone fit, including Madison, we're going to be in the discussion. If we're still up there, hovering around the top 3 come January, February, you kind of get a little bit excited. There's nothing wrong with getting excited and being happy about the way we're playing and where we are. Absolutely. We've had years of being crap. So enjoy it all while it lasts. And like Ange said, get carried away. I'm personally not, but I think, like you said, Chris, inside I am a little bit, because I don't know how many times I looked at that league table over the international break just to see us at the top there. And I'll probably look at it this week because, you know, we're not used to it. We're not Manchester City, are we? We're not used to being up there. So, you know, enjoy it. But I'm trying not to get carried away.
Oli, is that when the realism amongst the Tottenham Hotspur fan base will kick in once we have a couple of injuries?
Yeah, people keep saying to me, you know, wait till Madison gets injured, wait till Son gets injured, then what are you going to do? Yeah, that will be the biggest challenge. Let's not. I'm touching wood here. Let's make sure that doesn't happen because, yeah, I think if you take away Madison from this team, you take away the engine, you take away the fire that's burning, that's keeping us going. You know, you saw today, Lo Celso steps in and we're a different team. It's just completely one-dimensional. And Madison, as you said, Craig, he's got X-ray vision. He sees the game like nobody else. I actually think Madison was the kind of Harry Kane replacement that none of us thought we were getting. Just a guy who's running the show, scores, assists, drives the team forward. He's absolutely class. And as soon as we signed him, I thought this is the signing of the summer for 40 million. I was like, what are you guys doing? Why is Chelsea not going for him? Why is Newcastle not going for him? They went for Tonali over Madison. Bad decision. Obviously, they weren't to have the hindsight, but I knew we were getting a banger, and we've got a banger. He leads by example. I think he's the third vice captain. Yeah, he's integral. So yeah, let's hope he stay. We'll wrap him in cotton wool, hopefully, and keep him fresh. Same with Son. But you know what I like about this team, and my response to the person who asked me, what are you going to do when Madison or Son gets injured? I think everybody steps up in this team. And I think we were too reliant on Kane. And I think we were too reliant on him making things happen. And since he's gone, I think everybody steps up and does their job. And I think we work really, really hard as a team. Anyone who comes in does the business. And I think that would happen again. Yes, if Madison got injured, we would probably suffer a lot. But, we lost Basuma tonight. Basuma, probably one of our best players of the season. He goes, Højbjerg comes in, done a great job. I thought he deputised really, really well tonight. Didn't blow down any trees, but he was solid. He was integral tonight, just winning the ball, keeping things ticking along. And I think that'll be the case if and when we lose somebody to injury. I think it's a team game now. I think that's one of the biggest things that Ange has changed. He's improved every single member of that squad, and that will be the case if somebody has to step in and deputise. He'll improve them too.
Oli, you mentioned there, of course, Bissouma was suspended today, and Højbjerg came in. Now, when you look at this starting 11, Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Sarr, Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Madison, Richarlison, and Heung-min Son. Now, when Bentancur is fit and available to play a part in matches again, if you were to pick the best starting 11 at Tottenham Hotspur, does Bentancur get into this team? Does Bissouma replace Højbjerg here? Who gets in? Who misses out?
Yeah, I think Bentancur is different level. I think he's a different gravy. When we were really in the doldrums under Conte, Bentancur was the one dragging us through games. He's so creative. He's got such great vision. He's so technical on the ball. He's got such great ability. I would play him with Bissouma. And from the start of the season, I said when Bentancur's back, him and Bissouma, I think that would be our best midfield two in the middle there. I think it'll be really tough on Sarr because he's been so good this season. But I think Bentancur and Bissouma are a level above. So that would have to be it, unfortunately, for Sarr. I don't know when Bentancur's back. I don't think it'll be too long away. But yeah, to be fair, when he comes back, he might not be ready to go. So he might have to sort of earn his way back in, but in time, so yeah, I think he's got to come back in.
I think it's a great problem for Postecoglou to have, though, when you've got depth, because of course we're all thinking about having a couple of injuries, and it's going to be a very, very different starting 11. Now, shortly after the second goal, Udogie came off, Emerson Royal came on. Ange Postecoglou made a number of subs after that as well. In the 62nd minute, Skip came on, Sarr went off. Richarlison had a shot over the bar again in the 75th minute, and then a treble sub in the 81st minute. Richarlison, Madison and Son going off, Viles, Johnson, Lo Celso coming on. Heung-min Son was hugged by Ange Postecoglou. And then in the 84th minute, Fulham had a chance. Vicario saved yet again. Another great save from Vicario, Craig.
Yeah, again, like I touched on before, it was probably easier save than the one in the first half. Then it was a save he'd been expected to make. It was a nice height and a lot more closer to him, but he still had to make it, and he pushed it away from danger. Luckily, Jimenez is a striker low on confidence. I don't think he scored for something like 30 games or something like that. I can't quite believe that with a striker of his quality, but there you go. It was a striker that was short on confidence, and Vicario done his job and kept the clean sheet, which I don't know how many we've had this season. Is it 3 now? 3 or 4 he's had. But he is looking like one of the buyers of the summer for Tottenham. Even though, like we said, he wasn't the first choice keeper for any of us really. I'd never heard of him, to be fair, and of course we're so quick to write off players we've never heard of. It just goes to show that you shouldn't do that, It will be it was interesting tonight. I don't know whether Davies was injured or just not available, or just not selected, but we didn't have a natural left back on the bench, and that's why Royal came on and played. I think Porro was there for a little while. I think they seemed to swap round a bit. But obviously they've tried that in training, and he does obviously prefer Emerson there than Ben Davies. So yeah. I mean, going back to Vicario, I really like the guy. I really do, and you can see that the trust is being built there with him and the back four, especially the centre back pairing of Van der Ven and Romero and Vicario, that little triangle. And they trust each other, although it gives me a heart attack when they play around at the back, and they're going to lose it a couple of times, and they're going to make us all sweat a little bit. More often than not, they get it right. and fair play to him, because he didn't look particularly good with his feet when he came in. But he's great. They've obviously worked on that, and he's got a lot better. So kudos to him for that.
Ollie, let's come to you. Of course, we're next in action in the Premier League on Friday evening at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. Of course, their last result, losing 4-0 at St James's Park against Newcastle. What have you made of Palace so far this season, and what do you expect on Friday? Do you expect that Ange Postecoglou going to go with the same starting 11 as this evening?
Yeah, I've been impressed by Palace, apart from obviously they got smashed by Newcastle. But I've got there's a couple of Crystal Palace fans in the office, and they're always giving me the lowdown on, you know, all their top stars. You know, they got Eze. They lost Zaha, which was a big thing for them, but they got Eze. They've got who's the guy? The former Celtic striker. I can't remember his name now. Edouard. They got a few really decent players, and on their day they're really tricky. I think I'm right in saying that we don't have a great record at Palace. You know, they've done us over a few times. Obviously got good memories of the Dele Alli turn and shot goal that was so incredible, the little flick over his head. I think he probably will make a couple of changes just because it's such a tight turnaround. If you think about, you know, Saturday to Wednesday, if we were in the Champions League, Ange would make changes. So I think you can expect to see a couple of changes. I think that's why he took off Madison and Son, to keep them fresh. I think they'll start. Maybe, you know, Brennan Johnson could come in for Richarlison. I know Richarlison got the assist tonight, but I'd like to see Brennan Johnson start. Yeah, that back two with Romero and Van der Ven will probably stay the same. But yeah, I think a couple of changes. But yeah, Palace are a good team. I mean, Hodgson sets them up really well. They're really solid. But you know, it'll be tough. I think we'll get the win. I think it'll be another sort of 2-0 result, which is very rare for me to predict a 2-0 Spurs win. But yeah, I think we'll get the job done. But I don't think it'll be easy, especially if we have to rotate the team around. But yeah, feeling positive about that. But yeah, Palace they're no pushovers, even though they got thumped by Newcastle. But you know, you should always fear a team that's just been thrashed, because they need to put things right.
Do you know, Ollie, I completely agree with you. I expect another 2-0 win for Spurs on Friday evening. And wouldn't it be a great feeling for all of us to be 5 points clear of the Premier League, on top of the Premier League table? Craig, what are you expecting? Do you think Ange Postecoglou will make any changes to the starting 11 and your score prediction?
Yeah, it's a funny one, because obviously if Basuma comes back in and he gets booked, he's going to miss Chelsea. So is he? Would he rest Basuma? I don't know. But it's a bit of a risk that he misses the Chelsea game. You'd think he'd want him for Chelsea. I thought Højbjerg did okay tonight. Tough one. It really is. Depends how bad Sar's knock was. I mean, he came off, as I say, might be precautionary. Might not have a choice but to play Basuma in there. So I think he'll make a couple of changes. I think Richarlison will get a rest. I think he'll bring in Johnson on the left. I think, depending on Sar's fitness, I think if Sar's fit enough, I think he'll probably go with Sar and Højbjerg and not risk Basuma and save him for the Chelsea game, because he's bound to get booked against Chelsea, whatever. So I don't know who our next game is after Chelsea. I can't remember, but I would imagine he'd not want to risk him for that. But yeah, hey, you never know. He might just sling him in there and hope for the best. But I don't think he's going to tweak it too much, as long as everybody's fit, of course.
Wolves away it is, Craig. Early kickoff on a Saturday, 12:30.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. I think you'd rather have him for Chelsea then. But Wolves, yeah, you know, Wolves are no pushovers at the moment. So there's no easy games in the Premier League, is there? You know, you only look at what happened against Luton. So you know, I do want us to absolutely hammer a team soon, because we're creating the chances. Right, you could say it was a comfortable win tonight, but you know, we should have scored 3 or 4 goals tonight, and I probably agree with Ange. I thought there were stages in that second half where it was a bit sloppy. The passing for 5 minutes was terrible. It was, you know, misplaced passes, people losing control of the ball, and luckily Fulham were no better. So So we got away with it. But look, fully deserved to win the game tonight. But just something a bit. I can see why Ange wasn't happy with that second half tonight.
Well, after Ange's comments in the press conference, I'm sure he'll demand the win. He'll demand a good performance on Friday evening. Oli, it's been a pleasure having you back on. Thanks so much for your time. Where can people find you on social media, and what are you up to at the moment?
You can find me on X, as it's now known, under Oli Gamp. Give us a follow. I'm always talking about Spurs. I talk about boxing a lot. We've actually just launched a boxing channel on Mail Sport, which I'm doing a few interviews on. I interviewed John Fury the other day. Very interesting. He gave me a bit of stick for saying that AJ would beat Wilder. So we had a funny little confrontation. I don't know if you've seen it. I interviewed Jermaine Pennant as well. I'm doing a few bits and bobs. I'm going to a few games at the moment. I was at Brentford the other day, which was exciting. Just keep a lookout for my bits and bobs on Mail Sport.
Well, Oli, thank you so much for your time. And Craig, thank you so much for your time. And where can people find you?
Yeah, at Dearman9 on X. If you want to give me a follow, that'd be lovely. Mainly tweet stuff about Spurs. Just give us a follow. That'd be great. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Spurs win on Friday night and have us 5 points clear before everyone else kicks off on Saturday. Wouldn't that be lovely?
That'd be a great feeling. 5 points clear on Friday night. Let's hope that is the case. Thanks to Ricky for joining us. And as I said earlier, we wish him all of the very best with the Dancing on Ice episodes. And hopefully he can bring home that trophy in early 2024. Oli, thank you so much for your time. Craig, thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. And thanks to all of your supporters, as always. And we will see you on the next one. Until then, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.